Hello, my name is Eric Benson. Thank you for viewing my presentation on social exchange theory. Uh, we will be looking at some alternative perspectives and possible uses for reward systems within social exchange theory. Um, First off, we'll begin by addressing some of the criticisms. Social exchange theory assumes that people are rational in their core, that they will make decisions that will best benefit them in the future. The problem with this is that, as many of us know, we often make decisions that are not in our self interest or can, in fact, be detrimental to our well being. This is a pretty valid criticism. It also assumes that it has difficulty explaining actions such as altruism or any kind of selfless kinds of actions because social exchange theory talks to us about that we don't act unless we feel like we are going to get a benefit or a reward. And if we are acting out of altruism, then by definition we're not really seeking that kind of a reward. It also values. It also seems to value selfishness over selflessness. Again, this goes back to the idea of the altruism. Um, there also is a personal bias that taints our perceptions of certain situations. In going into any interaction with another individual or relationship, we're always looking at that relationship with the concept of what are we going to get out of it, or how are we going to benefit from this particular relationship. And it also one of the criticisms is that it's limited to dyadic relationships, which are basically just relationships where, like, a buyer-seller relationship, or relationships that are just between two people in nature. Um, so So what I wanted to talk about, and I didn't see a whole lot of research in this particular area, but um, if we start to look at rewards not only as coming from the other person or from the individual, but internally within ourselves, then we can start to see that the reasons why we're doing things is still based on a reward punishment kind of situation. Um, there are also actions that are intrinsically rewarding in and of themselves. So we get the reward just simply by doing the action. Um, for instance, uh, if we are, say, participating in maybe a food bank, and we are helping out uh, uh, either giving food or helping setting up, or any way that we're not necessarily getting paid for these things, then the reward really comes from within ourselves, but also maybe a perceived social status that we can feel like that we are in a better standing socially with our peers or people we interact with. We also can gain a sense of personal integrity. So by doing these things, we can say that the reward would be that I've reinforced the sense of myself that I'm a good person and I do these things, and that I'm a compassionate person. I help people out, and that is a reward because it makes me feel good, or because I appreciate more who I am after doing these things. So in that sense, it kind of takes away some of the selfish and selfishness that social exchange theory seems to have. So one of the things uh, that social exchange theory mentions is that over time, if a reward is given, then for specific action, like say I mow the lawn and I get paid a certain amount for that, well, over time, the value of that mowing the lawn and the action, that reward is not going to be enough. It's going to lose its value over time. So one of the things that we could talk about is reward schedules. So there are four different kinds of reward schedules, which are basically the timings of when awards are. So one would be a continuous award. So every time you do a particular action, then you will receive a specific reward every single time that you do that action. And it's not based on a time or anything else other than do action, gain reward. The next would be a fixed ratio reward. So it would be like uh, if you get the reward for maybe every other time that you do the action or every fifth time that you do the action. Like, so instead of saying that I'm going to get paid for mowing the lawn every time I mow the lawn, I'm going to get paid every other time I mow the lawn, or every three times that I mow the lawn, and that would be an example of a fixed ratio reward. A fixed interval reward uh, is when a reward comes at a fixed time, like say um, every Friday, no matter what you do during the week. This is when the award is given. So you do the actions during the week, then it's the reward's given on Friday. A paycheck would be a good example of a fixed interval reward because we work and then we get paid on specific days. So in the last reward type would be the variable reward. With the variable reward, there's no guarantee that a reward be given, and it's not at a fixed ratio, it's not at a fixed interval, and it's not every time. A really good example of this kind of reward would be the slot machines. So a slot machine, you put your money in and you pull the lever, and then most of the time you don't get anything, or you pull the lever and maybe you get a few coins, or if you're really lucky, you might hit the jackpot and get a lot of money. So that would be a really good example of a variable reward. So one idea that could be used in an educational setting would be to use rewards as at with completing assignments, and then instead of saying, earning tickets, like I know some teachers will use tickets for good behavior, or being there on time, or for any number of things, and then they can sort of at a specific time, like spend the tickets on like a prize box. So instead of doing that, it would be you get the ticket, you can go turn in the ticket, and maybe there could be like kind of a slot machine or something like that in the classroom. They get to spin a wheel, and there's a chance they could get something. There's a chance they could get nothing. But by doing this, you can kind of make the exchange a little more interesting, and it helps to diminish the the effects of having the reward lose its value over time. So those are some ideas of how you could use a reward system that would be related to social exchange theory within your classroom.